I decided to do my brand audit on Starbucks, not because I work for them, but because I like Starbucks. Starbucks owes its success to its popular coffee and its sophisticated marketing strategy that successfully turned a commodity into a destination. They portray the image of that coffee shop that fills the gap between home and work for its customers. It was first opened by its founder in 1971 and now has numerous locations all over the world. A big part of its allure is that it uses cross media marketing to build loyalty as well as to create that third place for its customers. Starbucks has a very interesting and what seems to be working very well for them marketing strategy. The first part of that marketing strategy is that they tout that they have this high level of or high quality food and high quality beverages that are located usually in high traffic, high visibility locations. They say that they have superior product because the training that the baristas go through and things like that, it is high quality worth the price. They do have premium customer segmentation. It targets those who can afford regular consumption. We'll get into their segmentation later, who they segment, how they segment, or things like that. Another part of their marketing strategy is that they do use cross-media marketing. This is something that we've talked about in class a lot. And I think that Starbucks does very well at doing this. I'll get a little bit more into this in some more detail about the app that they have and how they use the app and games to connect people not only to the app, but how they connect people to things, media outlets like Twitter, Facebook, their website, things like that, Pinterest. They also allow for a consistent increase in their marketing budget. I think that Starbucks does very well at that. Their marketing would be a star on the BCG matrix. They put a lot of money into their marketing, but I think that it shows a lot comes out of it. I think that their marketing is very smart and that it does draw in not only the people that typically frequent Starbucks, but those that don't as well. In running a SWOT for Starbucks, doing a SWOT for Starbucks, I've noticed that they have a lot of strengths. I came up with a couple weaknesses, a couple threats, and a couple opportunities, but I found a lot of strengths for Starbucks. One of their biggest strengths is that they do have a high level of corporate social responsibility. They do have a partnership with Arizona State University where they send their partners, which are their baristas, to college. It shows their commitment to staff long term. So not that they, just care about having staff there right then, but that they care about them getting the education that they need. They also have a commitment to helping veterans, which I think the same kind of situation shows that they are trying to be socially responsible. Another thing that they do is they do have a commitment to sustainability. There are coffee ground recycling programs in the stores which go for different things. You take pictures of those, and they kind of use that in their media marketing where, they encourage people to take pictures and support that and get other people to do the same thing. Another strength is that they are an early leader in online payment platforms. They do have the opportunity where you can pay with the app, where you can order ahead with the app. They have the Starbucks rewards. They do have many things that they offer in the app. They offer this gold level. So there's a green level, there's a gold level. Everyone starts out on a green level. If you visit Starbucks so many times, you end up in the gold level. The gold level offers a free item for it used to be every 12 transactions. Now it's every 125 points, which equals roughly $67.50. You get 2 points for every dollar that you spend. Some people were kind of upset about this because people that just order a coffee that just spend $2, it takes them a lot longer to get their free drink. Whereas before it would be every 12 transactions, which is roughly $24, whereas now it's $67. That's tripled. But for people like me who spend $5, whose typical go-to Starbucks drinks is $5, it's pretty even, the price of getting my free thing, 12 transactions versus 125 stars. They also hold many promotions. So there is something called the Starbucks for Life game. It's basically just a game that the app puts on. It's through the app. You can play it online too, I believe, but they tout it through the app. It's basically like Candyland, where each challenge that you do, you get to roll the dice, and then you get to move on the board. And if you move on the board, you can get free stars, you can get free things, and each challenge that you have to do is different categories. So one is visit after 2 on a Friday. One is visit twice on the weekend. One is spend more than $10. One is visit 3 different Starbucks stores. So the idea is to get you into Starbucks more outside of the normal time, because the idea is that you'll go at your normal time, and then you'll go again at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, or you'll go again to a different store. You'll go after 2. You'll go on the weekend, or things like that. You'll spend more money at one time to try to get these challenges, to get these free things. And it's not for nothing. I did win 5 free things playing Starbucks Bingo, so that's kind of cool. And the rewards are time bound. If you don't use them within a designated period, they expire. It is kind of a long period. I say it's a long period. I've never had a reward expire, but I guess people that don't visit as much might have a reward expire. Their app is one of their biggest things that they get people into. The app is very tailored to each person, and I think that really helps, because it kind of gives those promotions for each person. Another strength of Starbucks is its convenience of their location. So I just wanted to give a quick little rundown on the Starbucks app. On here, it's very tailored to each customer based on their purchases. So this kind of just takes their purchases and tailors the app towards them. As you can see, I have a free reward, so that works on anything. If I normally get a grande, which is the medium, but if I want to go in and order a tall, then I can do that, or I'm sorry, a grande or venti, then I can do that, which is their large. As you can see, it shows how many stars I have, how many I need to my free one, and then there are promotions for me. So this is to win 50 bonus stars, I have to visit 3 days in a row. So if I visit 3 days in a row, I get 20 stars. If I visit 5 days in a row, I get 50 stars. So these are very tailored. They're promotions for each person on winning bonus stars. So this is another challenge to win bonus stars. It goes off of things that I've purchased in the past, and kind of gives you those challenges. And it says here, menu challenge. So it's very tailored to each person. It kind of creates these promotions to get people into the store. They know that if I get 125 stars for visiting, getting things that I normally get, then I'm more likely to go, because I know I'm going to get something free out of it. Another thing that's cool about the app is that it has the menu on the app, so I can go through the menu and see what there is to offer. I can order online. Another thing is they have this music. They're paired with Spotify, so if there's a song playing in the store, you can go right in the app and just see what it is. So I think overall this app is a very good marketing strategy, because it is very tailored to each person, and it does offer additional promotions that are only available to me, that are tailored to my purchases. And of the stores, they do have stores in malls. They have stores in stores like Target, and you typically don't see other places like Dunkin' Donuts, other big contenders doing things like that. It's just one of those things that Starbucks kind of gets them ahead in the game. Another thing that I don't have on my slideshow is the names on the cups. I think is a strength for Starbucks, because there's kind of that conspiracy, if you will, that is around getting the name wrong on the cup, because they say that if you get the name wrong, the people will post it, and that's kind of free marketing for Starbucks, because someone spelled so-and-so's name wrong. And I actually do remember seeing one online where a guy went in and said his name was Mark with a C, and instead of spelling M-A-R-C, they spell it C-A-R-K. The guy obviously posted a picture. Voila, a bunch of marketing, free advertising for Starbucks, because this guy went and posted this online. Another thing is they lead in brand engagement over Dunkin'. Dunkin' and Starbucks both offer special drinks, but Starbucks seemed to do better at advertising them. At Starbucks, autumn doesn't begin with Labor Day, but with the pumpkin spice latte. Um, a lot of people, especially girls, wait for the pumpkin spice latte, and it's only here for a limited time from Labor Day to about New Year's. Another thing is the gingerbread lattes, like these here, the gingerbread latte, the caramel brulee latte, the peppermint mocha, that are seasonal drink beverages that keep the menu fresh and add that sense of urgency for customers who know that if they miss out on their window to get these specific drinks, that they'll have to wait months for them to reappear. This is kind of something that I found that's kind of interesting, the difference between Dunkin' Donuts drinkers and Starbucks drinkers. I think part of it's true. I know a lot of social moms that do drink Starbucks. I think that Dunkin' Donuts is more price effective for mothers, whereas Starbucks tends to be college age because it is on college campuses. It usually is college students that are working there. People go to Starbucks to study, things like that. So this graph kind of makes sense. And this just shows the difference between the app that I was talking about earlier. It just kind of shows the difference. One of the biggest things that I love about Starbucks is that it offers free in-store refills on regular coffee and regular tea. So when I was studying for the bar, I spent a lot more time than I would like to admit in Starbucks, and I think that it was very nice to me to be able to sit there for multiple hours and get free refills on regular coffee and regular tea, which is something that Dunkin' Donuts does not offer. I think that this also kind of plays back into their cross-media marketing, where it uses their website, it uses their app and their Facebook page and their Twitter account to kind of drive people to visit each of those things. And it is that cross-promotional strategy where it kind of tries to get people in. I think that this part of their marketing would be a star on the BCG matrix because they do put a lot of money into it, but they also get lots of growth from it. So I think that really helps them. Another thing that Starbucks does is they offer more alternatives for common allergens. I personally have a dairy allergy, so it's nice to be able to do this hazelnut mocha coconut milk macchiato or this iced cinnamon milk almond milk macchiato because they do not have any dairy in them. They offer these alternatives for dairy like coconut milk and almond milk, which is really nice. I think the biggest thing for Starbucks is its welcoming atmosphere. There is an issue with this. I'll touch on it briefly at the end of my little spiel here, and then we'll talk about it more when we get into weaknesses. Starbucks does tout its third place as a comfortable hangout for customers that's distinct from home and work. It's a concept that's so central to Starbucks that it's an implicit part of the company's history. The CEO wanted to bring a place for conversation and a sense of community for people. Starbucks uses this as a destination for its people to kind of come and hang out and study and meet with friends or work meetings or things like that. I personally have done a work meeting at Starbucks. I've done a group meeting at Starbucks. I've studied at Starbucks. I've gone there just to hang out with friends. There was an issue where 2 men were arrested after waiting for a friend. It shouldn't have happened. The CEO did issue a public apology, and it's going to close the stores on May 29th to go over those issues because that shouldn't have happened. We'll touch on that more later. So, weaknesses. The price. The price is not competitive. If you are getting a regular coffee, it's really not that bad, and you can see that the iced coffee, the price is pretty comparable. But if you're going to get a specialty drink like I do, you're looking at $5, and that's really expensive. So that kind of deters some people because they're not willing to pay that much. Another weakness is this red cup controversy. So if you look through here, you can see the changes in the cups. People, I think part of this is a threat and part of it is a weakness, the way that they handled it. Part of it is a threat because it's a change in public perception. People, I guess the politically correct way to say it is people are a little bit more sensitive now. So they didn't like that this was a holiday themed cup. They thought it was Christmas themed. They didn't like that. So Starbucks kind of went to this plain red cup that made people even more mad. They said, we should be able to celebrate how we want to celebrate, take the cup how you want to take the cup. It's a cup. So what Starbucks did, which was actually very smart, I think, which is, again, also a strength. So we have a weakness, a strength, and a threat all in one, is that they changed the cup to let customers design the cup. So they let the customers design the cup. It was a little more customer-oriented marketing for them because they got people into designing these cups, and that was, nice for them. Another weakness is that it excludes a number of people who do not consume coffee. Starbucks is very coffee-oriented. They did have teas and non-coffee drinks, which they do have. Teavana was in a lot of malls. That's closing because it was a cash cow. Lots of money was going in, but none was coming out, so they closed those, and Starbucks kind of took a hit because of that. Another weakness is, again, how the two men got arrested. I think that is could potentially both be a threat for public perception of them, but also as their own public perception of how they handled that, how that happened. It shouldn't have happened. I think it kind of also ties in with the strength of how the owner of Starbucks kind of stepped up and did say that he was going to close the stores to address that issue. Threats. Again, change in public perception, change in how people are going to be interpret things in the future, how they're going to be sensitive. You never know if a cup's going to set someone off. No offense to anyone that did offend. I think that Starbucks handled that very well, though. But that is always something that's out there, is public perception changes that could affect them. There issue is changing shopping habits, change in public normalcy, how people shop. There was a concern that more Starbucks retail stores have closed in the first quarter of 2017 than did in all of 2016, and that more retail stores were expected to close in 2017 than any year since the recession started in 2008. The CEO said that was a seismic shift in customer behavior and the devastating impact on brick and mortar retailers. Starbucks was affected by that. It made Starbucks reassess how they're going to continue to grow in the face of those, what he called tremendous retail headwinds. And the most important thing, which I think he's done a very good job of doing, was engaging the digital and mobile relationship with customers. So this kind of cross-media marketing. He wanted to create a consumer experience that evoked human emotion and connection. That one of the big things that they did was hone in on lunch. So they do offer a lot more lunch options and food options now. Food represented more than a fifth of its revenue in the second quarter of 2017, which is why the brand was eager to create new occasions for customers to visit stores, because they were able to grow the revenue from food, so they're trying to continue doing that. I think that Starbucks is helping itself in focusing on customer spending, and that is a good thing that they do have going for them. So it's a threat, but it's also a strength on how they're handling it. And opportunities. Changing the way coffee is consumed. I think in the future, it was changed a little bit how people are looking for more health food options, and Starbucks kind of created that lunch option for them while still trying to make that social atmosphere. Originally, Starbucks was really reluctant to shift its focus from coffee. They were touting that smell of freshly roasted beans to find a new way to get people in. So for lunch, for pastries, for things like that, marketing those pastries specials, the lunch specials, email blasts, as opposed to just the coffee. But by tweaking its menu and marketing those items, it's marketing itself as a destination for breakfast or lunch just as much as there's a coffee house. So they seem to be pretty good at accommodating what people want, and I think that that's more and more opportunity for growth for them. Just to touch on the areas of market segmentation for them real quick, I said we'd get into it, so we'll get into it real quick. They do offer regular coffee for the older folks that prefer regular coffee. No offense to anyone that likes regular coffee. They offer many non-coffee drinks for the younger people. They also offer puppuccinos for those with dogs. I'll take my dog through Starbucks after taking him to the groomer because he loves his puppuccino and I love my Starbucks, so it's a win-win for both of us. They also offer tea for non-coffee drinkers, along with those non-coffee drinks, but tea for people who don't want coffee in the afternoon but still need something as a little pick-me-up. They also allow different payment options: pay by cash, pay by the app, pay by the credit card. The credit card was an interesting one for me. You don't see places like McDonald's or anyone else like that using a credit card, so that's kind of cool. And they also offer many different rewards options. So I think that they have many areas of market segmentation. Overall, I think Starbucks is doing very well. They did have a dip in sales last year, but I think that they've done very well to help that this year. I think that they have a very effective marketing strategy. They've been around since 71, so what's that, almost 50 years. Not quite. But I think that they are doing pretty well, and it seems to be working for them. So overall, I would say Starbucks is doing very well.